The Czechoslovak New Wave was one of the most fascinating movements in world cinema, a burst of creativity that emerged in the 1960s from a country caught between control and change. In socialist Czechoslovakia, filmmakers were expected to follow the socialist realism, a style of filmmaking that served the state, showing idealized citizens and stories that reinforced the system. But a new generation of young directors wanted something different. They wanted to be honest. They wanted to show life as it actually was, awkward, ironic, and deeply human. Many of them studied at FAMU, the Prague Film and Television School. There, they watched Italian neorealism, the French New Wave, and films that valued realism, improvisation, and personal perspective. Out of this came something unique, a movement that blended humor and melancholy, rebellion and realism, truth and absurdity. Miloš Forman's Black Peter was one of the first defining films. It follows a shy teenage shop assistant trying to navigate the everyday frustrations of work, family, and social expectation. Its comedy comes from awkward silences and small misunderstandings, the kind of moments that feel both funny and painfully real. Beneath that is a sharp critique of conformity and authority, filmed in naturalistic performances and an almost documentary-like eye for detail.
Ahoj! To ne ahoj! 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 No, ahoj! Ahoj!
Jiří Menzel's closely watched trains takes the same approach to an entirely different world, a small railway station during World War II. The story of a young man coming of age under occupation, it balances humour and tragedy with remarkable precision. Everyday events, flirtations, mistakes, acts of quiet defiance become reflections of a moral choice and human vulnerability. The film won Academy Award for Best Foreign Language Film, bringing international attention to the movement and proving that these small, personal stories could resonate everywhere.
The winner is Czechoslovakia for Closely Watched Train.
Vera Chytlióva's Daisies stands at the other extreme, loud, colourful and chaotic. It follows two women who decide that the world is corrupt and that they'll be just as bad. Through surreal editing, collage-like visuals and anarchic performances, Chytlióva dismantles everything, gender norms, cinematic form, and the idea of order itself. It's playful, radical, and politically charged, a work that captures the new wave sense of liberation and resistance through sheer creative energy. Other filmmakers explored darker psychological spaces. Juraj Hertz's The Cremator mixes black comedy and horror to tell the story of a crematorium worker who descends into fascist ideology. With its distorted camera work, unsettling sound design and surreal tone, it becomes a haunted allegory for moral decay and the seduction of power. Meanwhile, Václav Táborský's The Return of the Prodigal Son turns its gaze inward, portraying family, tradition, and guilt with quiet realism. Through understated performances and careful observation, it studies how individuals bend under social pressure and how human warmth survives within it. Together, these films show how broad the Czechoslovak New Wave really was. Some were naturalistic and observational, others were surreal and symbolic, but they all shared fascination with ordinary people and the absurdity of living under authority. They questioned control without preaching, using irony and humor to say what couldn't be said directly. The movement reached its height during the Prague Spring of 1968, a brief period of political reform that allowed artists new freedom of expression. For a moment, it seemed as if the country and its cinema might open up completely, but that moment ended abruptly when the Warsaw Pact troops invaded in August 1968. The political thaw froze overnight, censorship returned, films were banned and many directors were silenced or exiled. By the early 1970s, the Czechoslovak New Wave had been crushed. yet its spirit never disappeared. The movement proved that even within systems of control, art can find freedom, through humour, through observation, through honesty. Its influence spread around the world, shaping how filmmakers approached realism, rebellion, and human complexity.